So to replace the fuel filter on your early style E46, you're going to want a drip pan, something to drip gas into, new fuel filter, 8mm socket and a 5mm socket, and then a driver extension and possibly a U-joint for those sockets as well. And then you're going to want a pair of pliers. Alright, so to do the fuel filter, first you're going to want to take off this metal cover, covering the filter and the pressure regulator. It's held on by 8mm bolt there, and then there are two studs over here which also have 8mm fasteners on them, one up there and one there. Alright, so with the cover off, the fuel filter is held in by one 10mm nut there, and then on front it's a hose clamp with a 5mm hex head, and then on the back another hose clamp with a 5mm hex head right there. Alright, so now I have the fuel filter just kind of hanging here. In order to get this clamp off that holds it, 10mm on the front, and then you kind of have to push the front in to pull it off the stud, and then these two clips on the back, if you kind of push it up and bend it out, you can unhook them. And then you're ready to take off the clamps, 5mm back and front. So I've removed the clamps and just kind of slid them off to the side here, back and front. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my new filter ready to go so that when I remove the back I can just slide it in, hopefully not drip too much gas. And I'm just going to use a pair of pliers to kind of pry off this rubber hose here. Alright, so there's the new filter in, old filter out. One thing you want to keep in mind when you put the new one in is that it's directional, so I don't know if the camera will focus, but there's an out stamped on the end, so that's the flow out of the fuel filter, so you're going to want to make sure you put that forward. Notice the back here kind of has this bead roll on it, so that should be the orientation that the filter goes. And so now I'm going to tighten down the clamps back and front, and then put the bracket back on to hold it in, and then put the cover back on, and we'll go from there. So last thing, after you've changed your fuel filter, before you start your car up, you're going to want to prime it to fill the new filter with fuel. So that's just going to be ignition on, and should be good. Prime it a couple times. There we go. And just check to make sure there aren't any leaks coming from the filter, which I don't see any, so I think we're good.